Alright, today we're gonna try to change the spark plugs on the old 2008 Dodge Grand Caravan with a 3.8 liter V6. Never changed the plugs on this, but I went searching for videos on how to and found none, so can't imagine it's that hard, but for people that might not have done this before, I thought I'd make a quick video, see if I can help them out. Anyway, I've taken a couple minutes and some masking tape and basically identified the cylinder numbers just up top here. That way I can pull everything apart and not worry about having to figure out where it goes. Basically we've got 1, 3, and 5 on the back side, 1 being on the passenger side, 5 being on the driver's side, 2, 4, 6, 2 on the passenger, 6 on the driver. If you look real close in the top of the coil pack here, you can see that the numbers are actually impregnated in. Not sure how well that shows up, but they're there. The OEM wires actually have the numbers on them, which is nice. Unfortunately, I did not get OEM wires to replace these with, which I would recommend, but I just couldn't find them, so I went with a reputable brand. Basically, we got the 3 in front and the 3 in the rear, which I don't know how well you can see those, but they're a little bit back there. I don't think they're going to be that tough, but we're going to find out. Over on the bench, we've got a few basic parts. Got a 5/8 plug socket with a rubber boot inside, help you get those back out. A couple extensions, a ratchet. The one tool I don't have that I wish I had is a swivel to go on the 3/8 drive ratchet. Don't know if I misplaced it or just somebody stole it or something. I also got some anti-seize compound to put on the threads of the new plugs. The new plugs are the OEM plugs. They're part number 7440RE14PLP5 by Champion Double Platinum. Learned a long time ago you always replace your plugs with the OEM plugs because there's some high-paid engineer that probably engineered the system to work with those OEM plugs. So don't get too carried away and go buying the quad tip or 6 tip or however many tip. They're not gonna do any better for you. They're neat and all, but they're not engineered for your vehicle. The wires are Napa brand. Well, they're made for Napa by Belden. Belden's a extremely reputable cable manufacturer for all types of cable. I don't think there's as much technology in the cable as there is in the plug. So if you got to vary your cables, I'm not thinking you're gonna have lots of problems there. The plugs or the plug wires come with some dielectric grease, which you're going to want to put inside of the boots, which will help you get them off later. Also keeps water, salt, debris just kind of up out of the boot and away from the electrical connection on the actual plug itself. So I'll make sure you lube those up a little bit. Other than that, I think we're ready to get after it. Basically, we're going to go in and we're going to see how hard these suckers are to get off. This thing's got about 108,000 on it, so give it a little twist. They're pretty tough. So kind of break loose after you twist them for a few minutes, or a few seconds. And once they twist, then you can kind of jerk them back and forth. But I ain't gonna lie, they're tough. They're on there. And I'm sure the ones in the back are gonna be a little bit tougher because you kind of got to contort your arms. The other thing I didn't mention is if you got some compressed air, you're gonna want to basically get some compressed air in and around these plugs once you start to take them out. As you can see, there's dirt and grime down in the holes, just a little bit. I mean, nothing crazy, but that's all dirt and grime that can end up in the cylinder if you're not careful. So that's the first three. Kind of want to take note at how these are routed. Basically 6 on top, 4 in the center, and 2 on the bottom. Pop those off. Those guys come off pretty easy, obviously. We'll set these aside. Obviously, we're going to be matching those up to the new cables in a minute here. Forgot to mention, we're going to want a flathead screwdriver just to help with the catches here in the back. See what I can do without busting them off, because you can't bust anything plastic. Yep, there's one down. Can't hardly see what I got going on here. It's kind of a pain in the ass. Somebody smarter than me probably knows how to get these off without busting them easier. Let's try a smaller screwdriver. Yeah, don't turn to me for the resource on how to get these suckers off. It's obviously, I have not figured it out myself. Doesn't seem to really matter because they're so damn brittle. They just kind of bust. The good news is they kind of lay in this trough that seems to hold them pretty tight. So I think ultimately when you push your new wires down in there, they're probably going to stay pretty well, and you can probably zip tie a band around them, but pretty much everything back there is really brittle. So even had we got them off without busting them, I'm not sure that they wouldn't have busted once we opened them. So there's 3. Dead center. I'll put this camera up here for a second. There's 3. In the center. Passenger side. Give it a spin on the boot. That's one on the passenger side, and the last one is 5. This is the shortest. It has been there we go. Alright, so there's 2 methodologies to doing this. You can do the ones up front that are easy to get to first, or you can do the ones in the back that are tough. Personally, I'm going to do the tough ones because, well, once you get those done, you're pretty much done. I'll grab the 5/8 spark plug wrench, kind of feel around, and just realized one of the wires did not, it actually broke apart, so we've left the electrical connection in the back of the plug, so that's another challenge. So for that, I'm just going to throw a pair of vice grips on. See if I can pull it off. There we go. So that's it. Electrical connection. Suckers are pretty tight, I'm not gonna lie. So, guess that can happen relatively easy too. Alright, now we got that guy off. We should be able to get down on that plug. Basically, I'm going to loosen each one just to kind of get any of the debris to loosen up. I'm going to hit it with some air. That boot's nice in that socket, however, it does make it challenging to get on and off. I'm going to go and loosen the fronts too, just so I can hit the air once all the way around. Extra extension. One in front's got the alternator wire and dipstick and freon line kind of running close. The extra room's kind of nice. All right, so we got them all off. Or loose, rather. Grab some air. Basically, just want to blow them out. You might want to throw on some safety goggles, or just make sure you don't get debris in your eye. Alright, so the camera died, so I've kind of jumped ahead and pretty much done the majority of the work. You can see the back is complete. All the wires are in. Installed my zip ties. These replacements to the little jimmy plastic deals I broke off. I did find that this whole assembly comes up. It just sits on a stud down there, which I can't see, but you just pull that up. So when you're taking this off, if you were to pull all your wires on the coil as well as on the spark plugs and pull that whole assembly up, you could probably get it apart without breaking it like I did. So basically I've got one last plug to install that I thought I'd kind of demonstrate. So we'll come over here to the bench, and I've actually done all of these, but this one. But we're going to basically do plug 6, which is here, and we want to make sure our wires are the proper length, which it's a slightly different wire length, but not by much. Basically, you just want to compare them as you put them on. We also want to put some dielectric grease on, which basically what I've been doing is putting on a small screwdriver, and then kind of allows you to meter it a little bit better. And then you can just kind of dab it on the inside. Really all you need is this real thin coating of it, and you really could put it on both ends. I didn't see any need to. Top end is quite a bit better as far as a seal. Yep, so it looks like I actually screwed up somewhere, and I've got the wrong cable on the wrong plug. So, perfect example of why you want to measure them out. I can almost guarantee that it's going to be my plug 5 here. You can kind of see I got a long loop back there, and obviously that should be the shortest since coil's here, plug's right there. So I'm going to take a quick break and pull that apart, and we'll be back. Alright, so as I suspected, 5 and 6 were swapped for one another. 5 is the shortest in the whole set. 6 is the second shortest. So anyway, we've got our wires situated now. Last wire rather. I'm going to come over and we're going to prep the plug. And basically you just want to take a small dab. This stuff obviously is a disaster. You don't want to get it anywhere because it just doesn't come off. And you just want to put a small dab on, nothing crazy. Make sure that you don't get it near the tip of the plug, obviously, but just want a little bit on there, nothing real fancy. Another trick I've got going on that works really well is if you take an old plug, rip the wire out, which I obviously had the one that did that on its own, you're left with just the boot, and you can take that plug, put it down in that boot, and it makes it a little easier to get down in the hole. The hole obviously is kind of tough to see, but you just stick it down in there, and then you got something to kind of grab onto. And obviously this one up front, plug 6 here, is easy to get to, so it's not a super huge help there, but it is a huge help in the back when you just need a little bit extra reach. You can do it with the plug socket as well, but it's a little heavier and more cumbersome. So you basically spin it down until the boot starts spinning on the porcelain. Grab a wrench, or socket rather. And I think these are supposed to be like 22 Newton meters or something. If you're that concerned, consult your service manual. Basically, you want them tight. Not over tight, but tight. Land that last wire around there. dress it out in the carrier. Pull up our tape, and essentially we're done. We'll fire it up here in just a second, make sure we're good. Alright, so we're all cleaned up, ready to fire it up. A couple last minute checks before we do though. First we want to make sure our cables are routed correctly, just in the holds. Basically you want the proper separation per cylinder so that you don't get any kind of like crossfire between them. So basically we should have from the top down, it should be 6, 4, and 2, just like we had before. And then on the back side, it should be 5 on the left, 1 in the center. I'm sorry, 3 on the left, 1 in the center, 5 on the right. So 3 passenger, 1 center, 5 driver side. Give it a quick check. Make sure all the boots are seated properly. They should have all snapped in when you put them on. And secure. Plastic deal in the back's good. Tools are all out of the way. Yeah, let's fire it up. Alright, sounds like we succeeded. If you get any results other than that, then you've probably got a problem, and you probably didn't follow your cylinder order numbers. You can refer back to the earlier part of the video where I had the tape on the top if you've got that problem. Make sure they all match with your wire numbers. But other than that, thanks for watching my video, and subscribe to my channel. Thanks.